outboard, Easter outdoors, everything fishing, everything outdoors. And today I'll make a quick video showing you how to wet form your sheaths. I actually started the process, and I went to my room and I got my wife and I said I should film this. So if you see this sheath right here, you can see that it forms to the blade, and it actually holds the blade very well. You can see you can even hear how solid it goes in there when it comes out, when it goes in. And that thing will never ever come out unless it's on purpose, unless you mean it. So if you want your leather sheaths to fit like a Kydex sheath, you know, because I personally like leather more than Kydex. I know some people like Kydex more than leather. That's for a different video. But what I'm doing today is, all I did was I filled my sink up with some hot water, okay? And just a little bit, and I put these 3 sheaths. This sheath is going to be for the Benchmade Bushcrafter. This sheath is the native sheath to the SE6 HM. And then this sheath is the native sheath to the SE4 HM. And I'm gonna let these soak for about an hour. I want them to get, I mean, if I forget, and I just put that coffee cup on there so they don't float to the top, just put something on. I don't know if it matters too much if the water is hot or cold. The hot water just makes me feel better. So hot water is good. And I've had really good luck wet forming my sheaths with hot water. So you let that set. You want the leather to really soak in that water. And the better the quality of a sheath, you see this sheath here, look at the sheath you would get with like a LT Wright. It's a really thick, high quality leather. This sheath here that I got with the SE4, it's not as pliable. This one is already flattened completely, and I can start to mold that probably already, but I'm not going to yet. So in an hour, I'm going to come back and I'm going to stick the knife into these sheaths. And then after I stick the knife into the sheath, I'm just gonna begin to mold it with my finger like this. And I'm gonna show you that. And that's what I did with this one. I'm just gonna mold it with my finger like that. And then we're gonna take the knife out and we're gonna let it sit for about 5 to 7 days. You just let it sit for a whole week. Just forget about it. And then when you come back, you're gonna see a beautiful result. And I'm gonna show you all of that in this video here. So stay tuned, guys. So it's been a little bit more than an hour. Added some sheaths in there just to reform a couple. And I'm gonna go through the process with you of what I do. I actually watched a couple of videos while I was away on how other people do it. And I saw a couple things that I don't like. Obviously you can do what you want. I saw a couple guys leave their knives in the sheath. They would wrap their knife with like some tape or some plastic. I don't think that's a good idea. Even if you have knives like this, you know, it's very resistant to rust, S30, V, stuff like that, you know, stainless steels. But when you get into your carbon blades, which a lot of blades are that we use, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't leave these things in the sheath, in a wet sheath, even if it's wrapped. I just think that's going to create a whole nother project for you. So I just want to throw that out there. Obviously, if you've done it before and you know what you're doing, go for it. But on my channel, I wouldn't want to tell someone to do something that I wouldn't do. So I definitely wouldn't leave your blade in there. So with that being said, this is how I do it. Like I said, these are my favorite thicker ones. This one was actually being used for another knife, and I'm actually going to start using it for the Bushcrafter, because I actually hate the sheath that this thing came with. So, you know, this fits in there great. Now's my chance to really get that perfect fit. And look at that. And another thing that's going to do, even your ferro rod holders, they're going to tighten up quite a bit after these this leather kind of recures. But look at that, you can just see the knife just forming to that leather. It's really a thing of beauty. A lot of people don't like wet forming their sheath, but if they don't like it, they're probably not watching this video. And I say try it, you know, I mean, you can bring your sheath back if you put it in a bath and flatten it out, and then you know, put it out in the garage under something heavy. Then after you get that sheath back out, it's just gonna be flat, and then you can just, you know, put your knife in it and it's just gonna be flat. Now we're gonna get to these, which aren't gonna form as well, but they still work. See, that already fits better. This one was really, really loose. I mean, I would turn it upside down and the SE6 would just fall right out of it. See, these carbon blades, you really don't want to leave these in there. I watched a guy and he wrapped it. I mean, it might work, you know, but I don't know, man. They're very, very, especially if you strip them. I mean, these are stripped. These blades, these carbon blades, they're stripped, so they don't have the regular coating. So, I mean, if you have a carbon blade that's has the regular coating, but if it's like a full flat like this, your whole entire blade will just rust. So, but you could probably see that's not taking the shape as well as the other ones, but it's gonna work. It's still gonna do what it's supposed to do. Okay, now I'm gonna take these sheaths. I'm just gonna put them somewhere. Forget about them. So there you have it, guys. I'm just gonna set those there, and we're gonna come back in, I don't know, next week sometime, 5 days, whenever I think about it, and come back to them. I just want to quickly remind you, the moisture on your blades, I know this is like a given to some people, but you gotta understand, guys, there's a wide spectrum. I learned a lot of things I know off YouTube, and there's a wide spectrum of people who don't know these things, so just gotta be patient. Make sure there's no moisture on your knives. Get all this moisture off of your blades, and make sure you store these knives in a nice dry place until they're ready to get put back in their sheaths. A little shot of oil, and just, you know, make sure they're okay while you store them. Especially these carbon guys, definitely want to wipe those down. And the oil I'm using on my blades is the oil that I use on all my blades. It's just extra virgin olive oil. I've been using that for years, and the reason why I love it is because I always have it in my camp bag because I cook with it. So I use it on my blades. I'll touch up my gun with it, and it's fine. It's always done fine. If you have a fancy blade oil, I mean, that's even better. it's been way more than 5 days. It's probably been like 2 weeks. So, but I'm just down here unpacking some stuff, got some free time, and we're gonna check out these sheaths. So I actually wet formed another one, which is this Ashley here. It's an SE. Just to show you how the wet forming works. I mean, it's beautiful. And I do want to mention something to you guys. So on knives like this that have this this large, like, you know, finger guard there, you're always gonna get a better retention in your sheaths because it has something to grab onto, you know what I mean? And I do want to mention a couple other things too. So the SE6, these two knives like this now always have more of an issue because they have no finger guard, so it's less likely for them to have a good retention. So there's nothing for it to really grab. But I mean, check this out, guys. Look, this one, that one's in there. This one is kind of light, so I mean that it's easy for it to stay in there, and you know, it has really good retention in there when you put it in there. You know, it's good. This one, not so much. You know, I can hold it upside down. That's the extent. If I start shaking it, it's gonna come out. So it holds in there. So these knives, but this is a very, very heavy knife. So but still, you know, you get a positive, you know, kind of click, if you will, into the sheath, and all in all, it worked. One more thing I want to mention to you guys is that other one that I wet formed, but this one was already doing amazing. And this knife has a big guard, and it's really light, so that's never coming out unless you want to. Another thing I want to mention, my bushcrafter's in the car, but I want to show you this. So let's all be honest here. Us knife collectors, we end up collecting a lot of the same knives. We love us bushcraft knife collectors. You get that like 3-inch to like 4.5-inch fetish where a lot of your knives are that size. So this is the knife sheath that I fit to my Benchmade bushcrafter, but I have my Genesis in there. And if you can see, look at that. Perfect. This lighting makes a good shadow there. You can see that goes in there. That thing is snug. That thing is not coming out. That thing is not coming out. I mean, I could probably, if I whip it hard, I could probably get it out there, but it's not coming out. Yeah, it's really good in there. But if you check this out, let's, you know, here's a, you know, PR4, which, I mean, they're both Kepards. They're both very similar knives. So when you have a similar knife with a similar guard here, it's always gonna fit. So that's what's nice. Like your favorite sheath, believe it or not, can fit a lot of your favorite knives, because your favorite sheath is probably the size of your favorite knife. And if you have a favorite type of knife, like me, I really love these Kepart style knives. That length, like a 4-inch blade. It's really my sweet spot. So now you have a sheath that you wet formed, and you can always have this on your belt, and you can interchange knives through it. And then when it gets loose, you can just wet form it again. So guys, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Thank you so much for checking out the video, for staying this long. It's probably like 15 minutes by now. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you like these type of videos. I do all type of fishing, outdoor stuff, and just bought a property here, so I'm going to be making some videos about that as well. I pray that if you're going through a hard time, if you're going through kind of like a valley, if you will, in life. That you get some joy out of this video, that it takes your mind off of it. And just know that everything is a seasonal thing. Life is a life of seasons. Things change, and sometimes when you're in the brunt of a bad season, it feels like it's never going to change. But it will. I just want to encourage you today, and I pray joy over you right now, a joy that surpasses your understanding, a peace that surpasses your understanding, a joy that doesn't make any sense to you, that you should not have joy, but now you are feeling some joy. Now you are feeling some peace when you shouldn't have peace. That worry that you feel just kind of comes off of you right now, in Jesus' name. So God bless you guys, and stay tuned for the next video. Love you guys.